expected, the storm has gotten stronger. Cola versus Tampa Bay. Big differences still lie in where the center comes ashore.
So what do you guys do when you live full-time in an RV and you guys are literally 10 minutes away from this? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the natural disasters, and this could be whether you're in a hurricane that's coming inbound, a tornado, bad weather hits up pretty quick. You always want to be prepared, and when you're living in an RV, you don't want to be in it for high winds, I can tell you that now. But if you have the opportunity to get out of the area, you definitely want to do that, and we call that bugging out. So let's talk a little bit about that, and let's finish up some stuff. We're just actually out today. We got our toolbox mounted here. Been working on trying to get everything kind of cleaned up and kind of situated and organized. So when the next storm comes through, we're ready to rock and roll. We were ready for this last one, but there's some stuff that we just wanted to get put in here, mainly the toolbox and some other stuff. We got the toolbox, we got some organization here in the bays that we're working towards to get some stuff cleaned up. So basically all we got to do in the event that happens is lift up the jacks and go. So one of the things you guys want to really think about is what kind of app can you guys use to track that kind of stuff. So there's also all sorts of different apps out there. We got like the Weather Channel, WeatherBug, the National Weather Service, which is online. I don't know if they have an app, but there's an actual National Hurricane Weather Center app. You definitely want to look into something like that in this area. But find whichever geographical area you're going to and locate the different apps that you can have. And we'll put on the screen a couple of them that we use here in a pinch. So the next thing we're going to talk about is preparedness. What do you guys need in order to be prepared for a storm? If you're like us, we have holding tanks. Some rigs don't have that. But this is also, this doesn't just go for RV, and this goes for overland, this goes for travel, this goes for anything. If you're staying in a cabin, whatever, what are you guys going to need to make sure that you guys are ready? That's going to include water, it's going to include food, that's going to include any type of blankets if it's going to be in the cold. You want to look into all that kind of stuff and try to find what is going to be best for you in that geographical area. If you're in an area and it might be flooding, or maybe you guys need a small inflatable raft.
This is a very new way to beat rush hour traffic on Bayshore Boulevard in Tampa.
You want to look into all sorts of different avenues of being prepared and what's out there for you to try to help you through the situation. For us, if we lose power, we're good. We have a built-on diesel generator that's tied into our fuel tank. We also have, if something's wrong with the diesel generator, our motor actually will charge our batteries and help run the inverter and stuff. So that actually helps out. Think about that. What are you guys going to need to be prepared in case of an emergency? So are you guys familiar with your evacuation routes? How does that work? Have you guys looked into anything like that? Definitely want to look into that. Have you guys looked into what any shelters would be in the event of a natural disaster? If a hurricane came through here and you were stuck in the area, where do you go to kind of seek shelter and all that kind of stuff? You definitely want to look into that kind of stuff. You know, find multiple routes as far as how you're going to evacuate in the event that it ever comes out that you have to evacuate that area. You know, when you start looking into that kind of stuff, you'll see, like around here, you'll see hurricane evacuation routes, and you'll see certain arrows pointing that way. And when they implement that in this area, they shut down both lanes. So if it's a 4-lane highway with 2 lanes going one way, 2 lanes going the other, you're not allowed to use the 2 lanes going back into the hurricane zone. They turn all 4 lanes into outbound traffic to get everybody out of the area. So make sure you guys know your evacuation areas. Make sure you guys know in your surrounding areas in order for you guys to be able to safely get out of the area. You know, one of the other things too is, you know, we talked about securing your personal belongings. That's what this one's about. And we're talking about that today because you want to make sure everything's secured up. Also, if you have the capability of setting your rig up in a certain way at the RV park, setting it up so that the wind's not blowing against it where it can tip over, setting it up strategically. So if you guys are going to ride it out, I don't recommend it, but if you guys are going to ride it out, make sure you guys strategically place your rig so that in the event something does happen, it doesn't tip over. That might be unavoidable depending on how strong the winds are, but make sure you guys secure all your personal belongings like this behind us. You know, another thing too to really think about when you're going through all this is think about your pre and post inspections of your rig. So if you are like me, you probably go through and you inspect your rig a lot. So we go through our stuff and we are always checking tire pressure, checking suspension, airbags, doing checks on our engine, doing fluid checks, all the basic preventative maintenance that you're gonna want to be doing. Make sure you document that. Make sure you kind of note some of that information, because in the event something happens after the storm or if you have to leave your rig and then come back, make sure you document some of that stuff so that you know what has changed after that. Because you never know what could happen during the storm. Something could happen where tire gets destroyed, or an airbag gets damaged, or one of the hoses in the back for the hydraulic pumps, or one of your power steering lines. A lot of stuff could happen during a storm. We all know that. Check your awnings, make sure that they are secured before you leave if you do have to leave that. If you're taking your rig with you, it's not so much of a deal because you're gonna be getting out of that area, but always do a visual and make sure you check all your preventative maintenance stuff before and after to make sure that you guys are ready. The biggest thing is making sure that beforehand you guys are checking everything to make sure your rig's ready to go, so that in the event you have to bug out pretty quick, you guys are ready to go. So I know this isn't a super long video, and it gives you some pointers to really think about when it comes to natural disasters, whether it's a tornado. If a tornado comes around, please don't be in your rig. Go seek shelter. Like here at the RV park, we have a small shelter up there that we can go to in the event an tornado happens. I can't talk today, but we got that area there. In the event like a hurricane comes through, make sure you pre-plan for that. If you're going to be evacuating that area, try to do it before the evacuations all come in hand. Pay attention to the app, pay attention to the weather. Make sure you guys are always focused on that kind of stuff, and be safe out there. Have fun. Hope you guys like the channel so far. We have made some changes, and we're hoping that this is a huge thing to have you guys more interacting with us. Let us know what you guys do to get prepared for weather, like whether it's tornado, earthquake, flooding, whatever. What do you guys do to make sure that you guys are well prepared and ready to rock and roll, just in case you have to boogie out of there pretty quick? Because I know a lot of full-timers are going to be traveling. Super simple. Turn the key, just go, you're out of the way. It's people like us where we stay here year round and we're going to be living in this area for a while until we start traveling a little bit more. We're just kind of giving you guys some ideas as far as what you can do. And for me, it's like you don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff out. So in the event that you have to boogie out of here, lift the jacks, pull the slide in, fire the engine up, and away we go. I keep that very 100% accessible and ready to rock and roll before we do anything for the week. That's typically what I do on the weekends. I go through the toolbox, I go through all my stuff, I go through the bays, keep it organized. Stuff I don't need, I'm discarding. Stuff that we are going to hold on to, I'm kind of putting back there and making sure that we're always going through and doing a check. So if you guys have not subscribed, make sure you guys do so. We have a 2,000 subscriber giveaway that we're going to be doing, where we're going to be giving away a Blackstone similar to the one we have over here, right down there. But it will be brand new. You'll be able to pick it up at your local Walmart, whoever the winner is. So all we ask is you guys interact, subscribe, like, comment, share. Let us know what you guys think. Give us some tips as far as if you guys see anything that I might have missed. But for the most part, I think I've covered a good chunk of what you guys really need to make sure you're looking out for. Biggest thing is make sure you got food, water, and you're ready to get out of the way of it if something happens, and be prepared. That's what this whole video is about. See you guys on the next one. Peace.